Hello again, everybody. Welcome to Marion County Espresso TV. I'm your host, Steve Woodhouse, and today we have special guest Vivek Ramaswamy. Did I pronounce that correctly?
You did. Thank you.
Yes. All right. He's running for president for the Republican nomination for president, and we're here on his tour bus on location for a change for the Espresso. So thank you for taking the time.
It's good to be here.
And a big thank you to Tricia for helping make this possible.
I'm glad we're able to do this in person. It's good.
It's great. You just spoke at the Butcher's Brew House, and you were talking about revolution. Obviously, I don't know if you mean like taking up muskets, like the original American Revolution. Could you kind of give us a better idea of what you mean?
I mean, reviving the ideals of the American Revolution. That's what I stand for.
Yeah.
They did the muskets part. We don't need to do that today.
I didn't think so.
The part we need to do today is remember those ideals, not just incrementally reforming within a broken system. The reality is we have a shadow government, a fourth branch of government today that really wields true control and power in this country. And I think that we need to restore the founding vision of three branches of government enshrined in the Constitution. Not this fourth unaccountable branch, the administrative state's bureaucrats, the deep state, the three-letter agencies in Washington, D.C., that are the true places where laws get made in this country. That's the one war I will wage as U.S. president, is the war on our own administrative state here at home.
See, I remember Donald Trump was telling us about how he wanted to drain the swamp back in 2015, 2016. And what the issue was back then is that he never really had the chance to drain the swamp because he was too busy fighting other battles. How will you be able to make that happen?
So I bring a unique combination of, on one hand, being an outsider like Trump was, and I think it has to be an outsider that gets this job done, but who also has a deep understanding of the laws and the Constitution of this country. So Trump's advisors unfortunately duped him. They told him things like, you can't fire employees in the administrative state because they're protected by civil service protections. Well, I suggest read the law.
Yeah.
The actual law says those only protect against individual firings. They do not apply to mass layoffs. And mass layoffs are absolutely what I will bring to the DC bureaucracy. So the truth is, I think it takes that combination of, yes, an outsider, but also an outsider who knows and understands the law and Constitution of this country. And that's what I'm bringing to the table.
And so you were getting kind of picked on at the debate the other night.
Oh, I can handle it.
I was going to say, it looked like you handled it well.
Yeah.
But do you think that is a good sign? Like, they see it.
I think it's a great sign.
Yeah.
I think it's a great sign for our campaign. I think it's also not a bad thing for the Republican Party. Let's smoke out some of those differences. Do we believe that we need generational change in our vision or not? Do we think reciting slogans we memorized in 1980 is good enough or not? I think not. I think we have to have an affirmative vision of our own for today. And so I expect that to continue. I was, as you probably saw, definitely the person on that stage who took the most incoming fire. But my view is if you can't handle the heat, you stay out of the kitchen. To the contrary, I can handle the heat. And I think that's good training for me to be the next president. And I think it's why we came out on top in the debate.
Absolutely. But, some of those big, obviously getting rid of the agencies is a good start, but we still have a lot of reunification to do in this country, to kind of unite us as Americans. How can you kind of just bring us together and start focusing on those things that, truly are American ideals?
Yes. So I think that, first of all, is the role of the U.S. president is not just to set policy. It's to bring back a certain national character to the office of the presidency itself. And that's something we're badly missing today. That's something that, look, I'm going to hold myself to a standard, and I hope the people of this country holds me to a standard that says, you know what, a good parent, I'm a parent of two sons, we can look our kids in the eye and say, I want you to grow up and be like him, whoever that is in the White House. I think it's been a while since we've had a president who fits that description. That's the standard to which I want to be held. Some of this is also just going to happen through policymaking. Part of who we are as Americans is that we have government actors who are accountable. Right now in the federal administrative state, shadow government, deep state, we don't have that today. So shutting that down will also help restore integrity in government that's part of the lifeblood of our republic.
And, obviously, we've got the issues with the border and national security and everything else. But what can you do about the debt? How would you get Congress in line to start, reducing our debt and making our dollar useful again?
Well, first of all, again, starts back with draining that bureaucracy. That's who submits the budgets to Congress that get bloated by the year. That's something the U.S. president can do even without relying on Congress for permission, which is why I start there first. But I do go one step further. I think work requirements are also going to be important in welfare and other forms of aid, even Medicaid, welfare. I think work requirements are important. That will help solve the worker shortage in this country. It'll also help address our national debt problem and address economic growth, GDP growth in this country. That's the way I'll lead as president. I think we may have one more.
And so I know that people are going to be wondering this. Why do you want this job? You're a rich guy. You have a great family. Why do you want this job?
To tell you the truth, I don't covet this job. I don't relish the idea of sitting in the Oval Office. I'm doing it as my sense of duty, my civic duty to this country. I have lived the full arc of the American dream. My parents came to this country with no money. I have gone on to found multiple multi-billion-dollar companies. I did it while marrying my wife, yes, raising our 2 sons. And so this is my sense of passing on to the next generation what this country gave to me. It comes from a place of duty. And because I believe I'm the only person who can actually get that job done right now, I have a sense of obligation to actually do it.
Because you've mentioned that I was at the Lincoln dinner in Des Moines.
Yeah.
And you mentioned that you founded all these billion-dollar companies. Can you name some of those for us so we can look them up?
The most prominent of them is Roivant. It is a company that oversaw the development when I was CEO of 5 medicines that are FDA approved today. One of them a life-saving therapy in kids. Another one for treating men with prostate cancer. Another one for women with endometriosis and uterine fibroids, areas that Big Pharma ignored. That was my first phase of my career. Second phase of my business career is I started a company called Strive Asset Management to compete with the likes of BlackRock, State Street, and Vanguard that have actually used retirees' money to advance political agendas in corporate America's boardrooms. The company I founded, Strive, as a shareholder, pushes those same companies to focus on excellence over politics, on maximizing value rather than just promoting progressive values. So it gives you a sense for my history in the private sector. I tried to drive as much positive change as I could there. But if we're to revive this nation, revive our missing national soul, the best place where I can drive that change is to do for this country next year what Reagan did in 1980. Win in a landslide with a moral mandate that revives our missing national identity, answering what it means to be an American today. And I'm proud to be doing my part in making that happen.
So as a Harvard guy, it's good to see you as a conservative. How'd that happen?
Well, I tend to be a contrarian. And so I think I actually got a better education because of it. My peers push me. And you have a better sense for why you believe what you do when you're pushed. That's why I believe in free speech and open debate so firmly. And that's why I want to spread those values across this country.
Absolutely. Well, so I know you want to take a little break before noon, so thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
I appreciate that. Good to see you. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for joining us as well.